Before going to my first circuit training session, Greg recommended doing more training on the basics, so hour 7 is a repeat of hour 6. This time I got my GoPro to work, at least at the start of the session. Yes, it's Wednesday again, and that means the opportunity for another 1 or maybe 2 flying lessons. The weather looks promising, so I was confident I'd be able to do a second flight in the afternoon. The second flight will be my first circuits training session. But before doing that, Greg recommended doing another revision of the basics. So this Wednesday's first flight, hour 7 in my log, would be a revision of the basics. In addition to improving my basic control skills, Greg wanted to simulate some of the procedures for operating the airplane in circuit. For example, we simulated leveling off at downwind and reducing power, setting flap, and doing a descending turn for the transition between downwind and base, or base and final. Following a checklist is a fundamental practice in aviation. There are checklists for everything. An important aspect of early stage training for pilots is simply following a checklist and executing each item correctly. For the Cessna 172S, I'm using the checklist that you can see here. Apart from these standard items you'd expect to see, there's also a handy map of Camden Airport. This flight was a revision of hour 6. Greg did all the radio communications since the Camden Tower and ground radio was not operating at the time. In untowered aerodromes, radio procedures are different to towered ones, but I'm not familiar with those procedures yet. In this flight, I was going to review and practice these exercises. There are many other bits and pieces that are refreshed, such as checklists, again for everything, just like in hour 6, and I practiced cold start, after start, taxi checks, engine run-up, normal takeoff, after landing checks, shutdown checks. Also did the refueling and the fuel drain check, and the pre-flight inspection.
So pre-flight check, so pre-flight inspection complete, passenger briefing. I guess we did that at the office.
Yeah, so normally with a passenger on board, because one day you'll have passengers, you need to brief them on the location of emergency exits.
All right.
The use and operation of door and their locking mechanisms, the seatbelts, how to unlock and lock the seatbelts, fire extinguishers are there, and that's about it. No smoking.
And no smoking. And I guess there's another briefing we do at the run-up area.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's a different briefing. Correct. Cabin doors, they are closed and latched. Yep, mine's closed as well. Seat belts. Not done. Seatbelt is locked and adjusted. Force good, check pressure is good. Heart brake is not set, but it's unset.
Yeah, we should put it on. Let's put it on.
Heart brake is set.
You're going to make sure it's got full travel. See how it says full travel?
So all the way until it stops
down.
moving? Alright.
Especially on the first flight of the day.
So, one, case of it, it's good. As well, and then I will put it back in takeoff position. It does have a lot of trouble. I didn't expect that it would have so much. Avionics master. Flight instruments, nothing broken. Good. Flight controls. Yeah, that's good. Avionics, flight controls, access, yeah. Fuel, shut off. This is one, so that is a valve.
That's the valve.
Oh, that's it. So if it's pressed in like it is now, it's on.
It's on.
If I want to cut off fuel, I put it down.
Pull it all the way out. And it comes out about that far.
Right, it's quite a long time. So it's pushed in, yeah.
Yes.
So a clarification here. And fuel selector valve is correct. Right. So we can do the start. Yeah. We'll do a normal start. So throttle now 1/4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much.
Too much. So
Yeah.
I'll just take it out all the way to see.
The way to do it is that sour.
Yeah.
You just push it in about that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Less than 1/4 inch open. Okay. Mixture idle cut off. So mixture, it is on idle now.
Correct.
Because it's pulled out.
Yes.
Right. Do I need to feel that?
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
just already. Propeller area looks clear.
Yeah.
Master switch is on. Okay. Rotating beacon. Oops, it's off down, so it's back on now.
Mm-hmm.
And circuit breakers.
Yep.
There's a few here. Nothing's popped out, it's all good. So the engine is not warm, so we have to prime it.
Yes.
So ignition switch at start.
No. We're here.
Oh, prime. Oh, okay, sorry. If engine omit priming, otherwise do it.
Yes.
Fuel pump. Do we have a fuel pump?
We do. It's right there. So you put that on.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
I need to read the rest first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So prime. Sorry, fuel pump is on. Then the mixture should be full rich, pushed all the way in
For 5 seconds.
for 5 seconds, and then take it back out again.
Yeah.
Right.
And then pump off.
And then take it out to this position,
Yes.
which is idle cutoff, and then fuel pump off.
Yes.
So the fuel pump will just inject fuel into the system, into the
Correct.
into the pipes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
And
I
you'll
can go
see
for-
fuel pressure here will come up as soon as you push that in.
because the pump is basically
Yep.
setting a signal to the.
Correct.
Okay. So I can do that, and after that it's the ignition
Then we
start,
do the ignition. Yeah.
and I'll be I will need to pull that back to idle, I guess.
Back to 1,000 RPM.
12,000. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's do that. So fuel pump on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and off. Okay. And I can do the ignition.
Yep. So put your feet on the brakes.
Brakes on.
You need a hand on this one.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the right key.
Oh, it's the other key, sorry. That one.
This one here?
Yeah.
I should have yelled 3 o'clock.
So just remember you push that all the way in.
So this first, then this out. Okay. I was more worried about the RPM. Alright, so now we check on after start checks. So oil pressure on in the green.
Good.
Navigation light on. Avionics. Meter. Slide positive. Transponder.
Press continue. And again. I said 1200. Go leave it on 1200.
1200 for class B.
Class G.
Class G, yeah. G. Alright, and flaps are retracted. Okay, so now for taxi checks, we need to actually taxi.
At the end of the flight, Greg pointed out a few things I did well and others that I need to improve. I was able to perform well with the basic common skills, including leveling off at downwind after takeoff and ascending through to crosswind. I also did sufficiently well with controlling power, setting flap, and the descending turn into base. A few things to improve are my directional control. I get distracted by the workload and allow the plane to drift. And managing speed by controlling altitude, while rate of descent should be managed by power. I feel that I'm starting to internalize those piloting behaviors. The goal is though to make them automatic. Greg mentioned that I often take too long to react to a situation. For example, I can see that the plane is too fast, but I don't react immediately. How should I react? Cut power? Pitch up? Let me take a moment to think about this, and of course, by the time I do that thinking, it's already very late. Speed is too high or too low, or my directional control is gone. I tend to think about them as if I'm sitting at my desk, thinking about a technical problem, and this is what I'm used to do as an engineer. I take the time to think about it and then come up with the best possible solution. But when you are in a circuit, there's little time to think. Reactions must be fast and correct at the same time. This only comes with training and more training until these behaviors are ingrained in muscle memory and come out natural. I'm making progress though, and the good news from this debriefing is that I'm competent enough to do my first circuits session in the afternoon flight. The weather is looking good for the rest of the day and the tower is about to open. So let's have a lunch break and come back for circuits. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Just click on the subscribe button below this video. And of course, you can also head over to my detailed flight training log pages on the Tech Explorations website. In these pages, I document in detail all of my experiences and learnings from each one of my training flights. These logs contain a goldmine of information for any aviation student or anyone interested in aviation. Until next time, I wish you clear skies and safe landings.